Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our Rooftop Talk series. These are interviews we do with women on the rise and at the top of their game. I am very, very excited about who I'm interviewing today. An incredible One Roof member and entrepreneur. I'm just going to... Kate, I can see that you've requested to join. Do you want to join from Walk Fearlessly or do you want to join from She Lion? Just before I let you in, do you want to just let me know? If you want to join from She Lion, just request to join from that account. Otherwise, I'll bring you in from Walk Fearlessly. Okay, cool. Hello.
Hello. Sorry, perils of having too many Instagram accounts.
I thought
I was on Keyline and then realised I was on Walk Fearlessly, so sorry.
No problem. How are you?
I'm good. So nice to talk with you.
Oh, so nice. These are my favorite things because more than anything, I just get to catch up with One Roof members. So this is us just catching up. So, and then getting to ask lots of questions.
And I need to firstly start by saying huge thank you to you and Francis for being such amazing supporters of me and Sheila, and even before One Roof. So yeah, massive gratitude and thank you for like absolutely embodying the women supporting women cheerleading piece. I couldn't be more of a fangirl of both of you. So hugely grateful for your support.
It's such a pleasure. And I've seen the images of Frances wearing your jumper.
Yes!
So good.
She looks so great. Yeah.
She looks so good. I need to get my hands on one. So
I've got to give you one, actually. Yeah, I've got to give you one.
I will buy one, but yeah, we can do that after this. I'm like laughing at myself. I put on this filter and I just look like I look very weird. But
you look very lovely. You're all sparkly. I need a filter, like hardcore, like a wine and coffee filter, and like a remove wrinkles and sleep deprivation filter, or just remove lockdown vibes filter. That'd be good.
Totally. Yeah, that's a great one. Remove the lockdown vibes. Anyone out there?
Maybe that's a business. Maybe that's a collaboration we could do.
That's a really good idea. Oh yeah, here's the entrepreneur coming out with millions of ideas. Okay, I'm gonna do like a really quick intro, and then we'll get into
sorry,
it.
I'm hijacking you.
No, please, I love it. I want to start by acknowledging the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people as the traditional owners of the land on which we meet for this talk today. I'm on the land of the Arakwal people and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. And of course, just acknowledge everyone who's in lockdown and the struggles that people are feeling at the moment, because it's pretty bloody tough. I am very excited to welcome Kate to this interview. Kate is a One Roof member, an incredible entrepreneur. She's the founding director of She Lion. And of course, you're also a dual qualified lawyer in Australia and New York in the US. You've completed various innovation strategy and design thinking executive courses, including training with Inventium, Eco School of Design Thinking, Stanford D School and IDEO. You're a graduate and member of the AICD and a certified agile practitioner. You were selected to complete the executive program in women's leadership at Stanford in California. Amazing.
That was amazing. And you hold...
I'm sure.
You should do that. You should do that. You should do that as the best course. You should do that if we ever get to fly again.
Yeah, seriously, that's good to know. I might ask you about that separately.
Yeah.
And you hold an executive certificate in strategy and innovation from MIT in Boston. The topic today is launching new products and surviving COVID through sheer desperation, quick thinking, and supporting local. And I think you've received a lot of PR recently, so we'll get into all of that. And I think this is a great topic and a lot that you can talk to. First off, do you want to just share how are you going in lockdown?
Oh, I think it's different every day, isn't it? I'm a pretty upbeat extrovert. Probably you've already gathered that. Definitely an extrovert person, and I get energy from other people. So I find it really hard because I'm, at home in front of the computer, and like lucky enough this year because we're Melbourne based, we were regional last year, but we have some childcare because my husband's a builder, so essential. which means I can actually get some work done. But I don't have people to bounce off, and I get energy from people. So I think I almost freak out the coffee people down the road when I'm like, "Hi," and having a big chat. Definitely when I have my marketing walks with the beautiful Shani Hyde, I am like all about the tactile hugs and like jumping all over her to be like, "Hello." And yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. I have good days and bad days like everyone. Yeah, real talk.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And I know us intimate people need intimacy and touching and hugs and connection.
I'm so tactile. Yeah. You feel so deprived of that. Yeah.
You really do. I hope things change very soon. Tell us more about She Lion. Tell us more about the business and what you do, and then about the pivot or the new products that you brought out.
Yeah. Well, She Lion is like my other baby, to be honest. I know you shouldn't say that about your business, but it really is, if I'm being honest. It's my love child. It is this amazing creative outlet that gives me the opportunity to be 100% me. It is what I hope is something that inspires other women to do whatever it is that sets their world alight and ignites their energy and makes them feel alive. It's absolutely started from, much like I think your experience in law, feeling like a square peg in a round hole, and not feeling like you were fitting in, absolutely being like this closet creative that couldn't really express themselves, along with being this humongous extrovert, which also isn't necessarily aligned with that whole lawyer stereotype. And then combined with the fact that I have always had a passion for fashion, unfortunately, as my mother likes to tell everybody, which is hilarious, but it's also, another creative outlet because I like styling and bringing color and clothing together. So I always loved getting dressed for work, and I felt like that gave me a massive inner confidence. And then you get to your bag, and you would have a beautiful bag, but it wouldn't fit your laptop, and it wouldn't fit your reams of paperwork that, we had to carry sort of, 10 plus years ago when we were first starting, and it wasn't paperless and all of that. And I got really frustrated with that, and I thought, gosh, there's got to be a solution, and then started speaking to a whole lot of other people about it and realized that there really was a gap in the market, and decided to launch myself at it. And it was really on an eyelash. I mean, there's a longer story, and we've only got half an hour. I don't want to totally take up the rest of your day, but essentially I found out about fashion law before that, had gone to New York to do that, had come back and the GFC happened, and that wasn't going to be a straightforward process, and then moved from a financial services firm with an incredibly supportive partner into a law firm partner into an IP team, and started doing some fashion law type work for clients in Australia, more like design, trademark, copyright type advice and contentious work, and then realized that actually I probably just want to be in a fashion business rather than doing the law part of it. And literally on an eyelash I'm talking, got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm going to just step out, and I'm going to do all of the courses that I can do practically on handbag construction and making at RMIT, and I'm going to work out how to actually make this product myself, and then obviously I need to find out about sourcing and how I can get it made at scale, and that's how it started. And it's all about, that moment when you walk into a meeting and you want to feel fabulous and you are the focus and the brand is minimal, but it's about empowering you to walk fearlessly, perform at your best, be able to find the one thing you need, so you don't have the insane Mary Poppins nightmare moment where you're pulling everything out and then you start feeling anxious because you can't find that one thing. She Lion solves that problem for you, so you can just reach into your gorgeous handbag that makes a big statement, but it's still all about you with minimal branding, and find your USB, your charger, your tampon, your phone, whatever it is that you need when you need it, and be like, yes, let's carry on and business as usual.
So good. So then where was the business at just before COVID hit, and then what happened once COVID hit, and how did it change?
A lot. Yeah, a lot. COVID kind of took away commuting, which is our whole thing, really, because if you're not commuting, you don't have to carry your office with you. You don't have to carry your laptop and all your paperwork. You don't have to find anything because it's all on your home office desk or on your, bench at home, because you're not actually going into the office. So, it was quite a significant change, and it was at a point in my life, at least, where, you know, I mean, no one was ready for it, but I had a newborn. I had a child in December 2019. So I had like a 4-month-old essentially and a 3-year-old. And we were living in regional Victoria, which was great because it was like one level, very child friendly. But, you know, my husband was commuting to work every day in Melbourne. So I was often alone. So it was quite difficult and trying to run the business and dealing with significantly reduced sales, massively increased freight and logistics costs. We just projected going into like this amazing exclusive run of handbags. It was like a limited edition, really beautiful high-end exclusivity piece that was just totally not appropriate for the market any longer, and that had all been made and paid for but not arrived. And so all of this product arrived, and, you know, it wasn't the right time to advertise it. It wasn't the right time to market it. You know, we needed a whole new thing if we were going to survive, let alone you know, continue. And so, yeah, I have always been a massive fan of slogan tops, like always, and was wearing a superhero top. I have like a no pain, no champagne, along with a whole lot of others. And, you know, I'd had a really rough day with Bert. He had like quite severe reflux last year, and, you know, Jack was super active anyway, so like no sleep and you're at home. And I put on this superhero top trying to, like, you know, do some she-line in between naps that weren't coordinated and whatever. And, yeah, put this photo up on Instagram, basically on my personal Instagram, saying, gosh, you know, women are superheroes. We can do anything, essentially a pep talk to myself, honestly. I'm a massive mantra woman, and so it was like verbalizing and putting it out there, saying I can do it type thing. We can all do it. And I had a lot of people say, gosh, you know, you should make a Walk Fearlessly top. And then seriously started brainstorming with Shani and coming up with some, you know, empowering statements. We wanted it to be more universal than Walk Fearlessly. And actually was absolutely encapsulating what we were feeling and what we were trying to do. We didn't know whether we actually could. We thought a sweatshirt would be something that would be quite straightforward. It wasn't. It isn't. And then, no, and I think that's what's made me so passionate about like lifting the veil. I mean, for someone who's in fashion, they would be fully aware of all of this. And I mean, there are so many Australian designers that do make in Australia. I am by no means the first company to be making Australian made. But I feel like, I don't know, I have this duty to be sharing this insight so that people understand what actually is involved, and that it isn't simple, and that there are all these makers and artisans and manufacturers here in Australia. And there's this huge growth opportunity, and COVID has, you know, forced this sector to really innovate, and it's also woken us up about the fact that we can't be so reliant on offshore. We need to be able to be more self-sustaining. We also have all these added benefits about being able to support Australians, to create jobs, to have oversight, to have people paid responsibly and ethically. I mean, there's just so many positives. And for that to also give wearers a spring in their step, and to gather as many other small businesses that were hurting like we were, was a great part of it. And honestly, it evolved with its own journey all by itself. It was just breathing life into itself because it was so positive, and it was so positive for everyone involved. And it was something I really needed, because I needed that positivity. I mean, I had postnatal with both kids, and yeah, it was something that I channeled. Absolutely, this positivity that was about lifting me up, but also, like, you know, creating joy, I think, and having a community, and again, thriving off connection. So yeah.
Well done. Verity from Checklist Legal has said in the chat, love the slogan top and can't wait for my sweatshirts to arrive.
Yes, well, Checklist Legal is absolutely something that everybody should check out too, because that is a pretty amazing business as well.
Yeah. Absolutely amazing. We love Verity, and an amazing business. I want to ask a few things. So how many local businesses were involved in the pivot and the making of the sweatshirts?
Beyond my own 21 directly, but there's you know, more if you're counting like accounting and all of the peripheral business as usual pieces that did have a strategic part to play. But like direct touching, went through and did a value chain analysis, and there's over 300 employees across those businesses that touch this garment, which is just mind-blowing. Like, I didn't know. And it's just such an area that we could make such a big impact, and it's such a small thing that could make a very big impact. And yeah, there's just so much opportunity if there would be more government funding or infrastructure around this area to really grow it again, and exponential opportunity to create more jobs, I think.
Absolutely. And are you, I totally agree. And are you still selling the bags, or is the focus
Yes,
very much on it? So you still sell bags and
I
sweatshirts?
still sell bags. Yes, I
Awesome.
still
And
sell
like the
bags.
reality is there's, right, like there's going to be, we're going to come out of lockdown at some point. I mean, we have to.
Yes. Mm.
People will commute again and things will look slightly different, but there will still be a need for things like, you know, business bags and commuting and meetings and so on. So you know that the market's still there,
Yeah,
right?
I think our focus, our core values align with the sweatshirts and the bags really equally. It's all about it being premium, it being practical, it being something that brings you joy. Ideally, that's something a little bit extra. It's about representing bold ambition, and it's about you know, putting that spring in your step and helping you walk fearlessly. And both of these product ranges, I think, aim to achieve that. So essentially, looking down the next 12 months, we're focused on that hybrid working environment now, rather than it necessarily being the office environment. We're focusing on solving problems for people that work at home and in the office, and finding things that help make life easier in that respect, that are comfortable, practical, and bring you joy, and hopefully ignite inspiration in people, and yeah, spread a bit of love.
I love it so much. It's really beautiful. Did you, when COVID hit and then you started thinking, okay, well, sales have dropped, and thinking about, well, are there other products that I can launch? In that time, did you think about giving up, or was it just very obvious to you that you refuse to give up and you just need to find other products and adapt to what's going on?
I think there were a lot of people that I spoke to that said, you know, it's perfectly reasonable for you to just end the business now because it's been a pandemic and that's a recession. And like, you know, I mean, and you've got a newborn. I mean,
Yeah.
why are you doing
Oh,
this?
yeah.
And I think I have that personality type where I'm just like, when someone says you can't do something, I become really, really determined to prove that you can. It's like that portfolio career piece. I'm like super passionate about demonstrating that it's possible to reach a leadership level in a corporate environment and be respected and valued on a flexible arrangement. And then I was also, you know, equally very passionate about not letting the business die just because everybody thought that it should, and it's going to be hard and it'll be too hard, and why would you do that? And it was really hard, and it is really hard, and it's not out of the woods, and I'm still pushing and we're still trying, but that's all you can do. And I think if you do that, then you've got no regrets. I'd rather, as you know, I'd rather go out in flames rather than not. Yeah.
I so resonate, and some people in the comments are saying so good and you're so inspiring. I feel like we have slightly parallel lives, Kate, in that, you know, I was about to have a baby just as COVID hit and was about to
Yeah.
open another co-working space, and so many people said to me, "What are you doing? Just walk away." Like
Yeah.
literally, like this is ridiculous, and you're taking on so much financial risk as you're about to become a mum. Why would you do any of that? And yeah, it's hard. It's hard dealing with those thoughts and those projections. But yeah, I also, like you, was just like, I refused to give up, pivoted super quickly, didn't even really think about it. It was just like, you know, someone said to me, just turn everything online. Everyone's online right now. You do all these events and all this business support, just do it all virtually. Yeah, and I'm very happy that I did. And you kind of, you know, it's
And what an
hard.
amazing job you've done. Like, how sensational, like massive congratulations. So awesome.
Thank you. And I think like there are so many opportunities within times like this. So, you know, one door closes, but many other doors open. And if we're in the right headspace and frame of mind, we can really take on those opportunities. And I guess maybe it's just lucky that people like you and I are like, when someone says you can't, and you're like, well, we're like, well, fuck that. We're going straight for it.
Thank you. That was what I was thinking. I wasn't sure whether we could swear. Yeah. It's also that piece around, you know, when you have a baby and people are like,
yeah,
it's almost like you can't be ambitious anymore, and that doesn't mean that you're not, and that, I don't think that means that you're not maternal just because you want to be ambitious still. I feel like that conundrum is really wrong. It's aligned with that whole, you know, flexible working piece. It's this coach once said to me, you know, and he was male, never say you work part-time, you always say you work like 0.6 or 0.4 or flexibly, because there's this assumption when you say you work part-time that you're not committed. And I was like, oh, you know, whatever, when he first started saying that to me. And now, oh my gosh, it's so true. And it's such a strong change in the way you speak, and it makes such a powerful impact, I think. So yeah, whenever I am talking, yeah, it's about, you know, portfolio, and it's about, you know, flexible and flexibility and how it should be and how it always should be, and none of that, you know, mother like you don't work and work like you don't have kids business. And then it's not about trying to want to have it all either. It's about people respecting women and their, you know, ambition and what they want to achieve, and supporting them in a society in a much better way than we're doing at the moment. And hopefully this, you know, lockdown world is bringing that whole she session to the fore, and the fact that we need to be doing things differently if we're wanting women to become up in leadership positions and supported and still be able to have families. I mean, where do the men think they come from?
Seriously. I want to shout out to Karina, who's from Working Mama Community, who's here. She's a One Roof member, and she runs a membership for working mums. And everything you're saying is everything she stands for, and I couldn't agree more. I want to actually touch on the portfolio career piece, Kate, and if you can just share a bit more about like the day to day. So how often are you working on She Lion? You know, where are you working as a lawyer? How often do you do that work? What are your ambitions for each? And then are you kind of spending time with the kids as well? Like what do your weeks look like?
Yeah, well, they're quite dynamic at the moment. I'm on mat leave at the moment. I'm on an extended mat leave at the moment. So I'm not working at the firm at the moment, but I am going to return soon. And so prior to COVID, I was doing 3 days at the firm and sort of 2-3 days on Sheila, and then carving out the hours when I was actually doing that, so that, you know, you either get up early or work late, and then have dedicated time with the boys as well, or Jack pre the second child. Two children definitely changes the mix a lot, to be honest, because it's like having 3 jobs. I mean, I think it was a lot more focused when I just had the business and the corporate role, but having 2 children in the business and the corporate role is a lot more logistics. But, you know, it's again that whole mindset about don't tell me I can't, and I'm going to prove to you that I can. And I'm really adamant about spending quality time with my sons as well, because I'm fully aware that, you know, they're only little once, and, you know, once they go to school, that's very, very different. And also making sure that you try and have time with your husband, and I don't always get it all right, but I think each week is different, and I just try and chunk it out into hours and try and allocate what I can get done that week, or what my goal is for that week for each area, and then trying to have the quality time with kids and husband at least prioritized in there.
Yeah, well done.
And you've just got to remind yourself always that you're one woman, and that there are a certain amount of hours in the day, and you do have to sleep. And
we just have to
lower it's about managing expectations as well. I think you've got to have stretch goals, but it's about managing expectations and being reasonable with yourself. I'm not so good with self-care. I probably need more Kate time in there. I'm not very good at doing that. But that's like this next 12 months focus thing.
Yeah. Awesome. That's great. Yes, definitely lowering our expectations and creating realistic goals is very important, particularly with lockdowns and homeschoolings and all the things that people are managing. I think we're very good at setting ridiculous goals for ourselves, especially if we're driven and ambitious and all those things. And then, you know, you just feel like a failure all the time because you just have no time in the day.
Nothing right. Yeah.
Like some days you can't even get to your work because everything else gets in the way, and this is the way it goes.
Yeah.
Any goals and ambitions that you haven't shared yet around the business that you want to share, that you're excited about over the next few years?
Yeah, I suppose we're in a process at the moment of like really refining the vision and what we're doing, because we've gone from being so focused on handbags to being like non-product specific all of a sudden. but I don't know that that's changed the core value of the brand, because it's always been about emboldening women to really walk fearlessly and ignite opportunity, and, you know that anything is possible with guts and determination. And I feel like, I've always been trying to sell that feeling rather than a product anyway. So it just kind of reinforces the feeling that I try to sell by having diverse products. I've just got to make sure that, that strategy is landing correctly. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what I love? I love how clear you are on the mission and everything that the business stands for. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter how many different products you might launch in the future. And, one product might end up being the hero product. Like, it doesn't actually matter, because at the end of the day, it's like you said, it's all about women walking fearlessly. It's all about career-driven women kind of, making life easier for them. And so it's so easy for me hearing you say that to describe that to others. It's so much more than a bag company or a sweatshirt company or a product business. So I think you've just really nailed the mission and your intention in the business.
Oh, thank you. That means the world that you understand that, because I feel like sometimes that's the hard piece to communicate. But yeah, that's 100%. Thank you. That's great feedback.
Yeah, maybe also being an ex-lawyer, I just know the feelings and those experiences and being in meetings and
I feel like you're a bit of a soul sister, to be honest.
Yeah. Very similar experiences.
Yeah.
And going through Atto, and we've only got we're going to go over with time, but yeah, I'd love for you to just quickly share about the Atto program, why you wanted to join it, and how it's going.
So I was keen to join Atto because there's been so much disruption with the business, and then the pivot, and I think getting some expertise around validating that the decisions and the direction and the strategy is correct from people who've had greater experience, because I feel like so much of what I've done with my business has been fairly intuitive. And I felt like if I could get into an accelerator like Atto, there would be some amazing experts I could soundboard off of and really get some validation about the direction. But I think also it's about being exposed to an amazing community, again, of like-minded women who are also walking that journey, and that's been super beneficial as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get that. And Atto is an amazing community. And I think the best thing, what I love so much about the program, and Kate Kendall, who runs it, is incredible. But what I really love,
and Lana.
It's all about, and Lana, absolutely, who is phenomenal, is that it's all about supporting women to build digital, virtual, online businesses, and not to focus on raising capital and getting funding and going global from day one. It's actually about building a sustainable business from day one and making it profitable, and knowing that you can take dividends out of the business and you're building it with more organic growth, and you don't need to spend a lot of money up front. And I'm all about that model, especially as somebody who raised capital in the past, and I don't want to do it again anytime soon. I just think there's so much more power for us, especially for women who, we struggle to raise capital. We have so much going on in our plate. And so it's actually a much more feminine approach. Like, we want to build solid, profitable, good, impactful businesses. And that's everything that Atto preaches and helps you build. So it's great.
100%.
Any tips for people who have their business and something's not working? COVID's, really killed their motivation, and they're thinking about pivoting, but they're kind of like, I don't know, like, we hear this word pivot all the time, but it's just like, how do you kind of take a step back and go, what's working and what's not, and how do I redirect? Any tips on that?
I think it's around reassessing what problem you're solving, and whether that problem still exists and how that problem's changed, and then who your target customer or user is, and what their experience is, and really honing in on that, and having conversations with those people. I think it's all about
it's really going back to your customer and your potential customer, and what are their pain points, and have those pain points changed. And we've been thinking about an evolution of OneRoof or another membership idea. And in order to launch something like that, or like, the next kind of tiered membership option, we've been doing lots of interviews. Like we just need to hear
Exactly.
the conversations
Yeah.
and the pain points. And, you know, do you want to keep working from home? Do you want to go back to the office? Is there a hybrid? What are your managers saying? What's going on? What, you know, there's just, I think being on the ground with your potential customers is huge. It's great.
I think there's so much opportunity at the moment because there's so much, such a state of flux. And I think people are really worried that we're going to go back to normal, and then what is normal, and how can we keep some parts of what we had. And I mean, obviously I'm talking more about you and I and how our product and service interrelates, but like it would depend on I think honing in on exactly the problem that your business is trying to solve, and whether that's changed and how that's changed, and whether your product or service needs to adapt to accommodate that, to make sure you still are solving that problem and in the right way for that person.
Yeah, love it. And also, if you can't do it yourself, find people like external consultants or other, you know, business owners who can support and give you feedback on it, because sometimes it's very hard when you're deep in the frustration and you're feeling motivated.
Absolutely. I think talking to as many other people about it, and people outside of your family and your friendship group are often the best people to talk to, because they don't shy away from giving you the blunt feedback, as long as you're having a good day before you go gather the feedback. But I think
we need the blunt feedback.
You do. You do. Better to get that early than after you've spent money creating something that has to be changed.
Exactly. Absolutely. Great advice. What about just quickly on the PR side? You've gotten a lot of PR. You've been in a lot of different articles lately. Did that just fall on your lap, or did you go out seeking it? And how do you kind of get PR?
Elise Hendrickson is amazing. She's part of the Sheline team. Absolutely, she's amazing. Shani Hyde is also amazing. She's part of the Sheline team. And I am a massive hussy with trying to get PR too. So I think it's just lots of persistence, having an amazing network, tapping into your network and really reaching out to people, and sharing, you know, a good news story is obviously really helpful too. And I think if anything, Elise has absolutely taught me about how to structure the pitch correctly and make sure that you're going in to provide value to the person. So I think, again, it's about thinking about the problem that you're solving and making sure you're helping the journalist. So the journalist is like, oh, awesome, like, great, thank you so much, and just picking it up and walking away. Having said that, though, we have pitched to a lot of people. So like, we have got some amazing traction, but we have really tried hard to get it out there. And I've been so proud of the team in what we've achieved. And there's some really amazing things coming in the pipeline too that I can't share yet, but they're very exciting. And so, I feel like, Sheline is definitely kicking some goals again, which is good. Again, not out of the woods, but definitely fighting and getting there.
It's really impressive. And I think that's Elise in the comments.
Yes, it is. Charlie, Boodle.
Very impressive. And so good to hear that you've got a team, and even if it's small, and you know, I think that is a huge part of it. Having an ecosystem and support around you, whether they're full-time in your business or consulting or contracting in, is we can't do it on our own.
No, it's all about your community. I think that's the whole thing. It's all about the community, because the business is kind of like a child, and you can't, you know, it takes a village. So, and the same with a business. Yeah.
Absolutely takes a village. If people want to find out more about Sheline, they want to purchase your bags, your amazing sweatshirts, where do they go?
Please come to sheline.com.au and do absolutely invest in a beautiful sweatshirt, because it supports 22 Australian small businesses in an end-to-end Australian supply chain with absolutely every element manufactured here, which is the unique proposition. And it's beautiful, and they're so comfortable. And we're going to have sparkly ones, I think, from next week or the week after, which I'm excited about. But and if you're interested in a handbag, I've got some incredibly functional, beautiful bags that will move your office from the home office to the kitchen in lockdown, and then make you look sensational when you're ready to come out of lockdown and emerge and walk fearlessly and take on life again.
Oh my God, amazing. So good. Well done. So great. I'm so excited to get my hands on one. And a bag too. I definitely need that bag. So, Kate, just finally, do you have an ask or something you need from the community? I mean, maybe you've already said it, go to the website and purchase, but is there anything else? And if not, is there just anything else you want to share?
Just, I think helping share the story is so helpful because it brings awareness to manufacturing in Australia. It brings awareness to the impact that you can have just by buying one top. It enforces the support local mantra, and I feel like it really makes people feel stronger and lifts their spirits with that actually I can mantra as well. So yeah, if people are willing and it resonates with them, we'd love you to share the video that's on our site, or even just talk about what it means to you. That's hugely helpful to us. That's invaluable PR and marketing, and that's stuff money can't buy. So yeah, and we're so grateful already for all of the support. It's just been
Yeah. Oh, I can't hear you for some reason. Say that again, Kate. I don't know why the sound's gone. Oh, you're back.
there you are.
I didn't hear the last part, but yes, I think it's such a simple thing to shout out to small businesses and local businesses. So as simple as just sharing the Sheline mission and the products and the video. And exactly as Kate said, it doesn't just support Kate and her team, but it supports 22 other local businesses. And so it's a very simple thing that we can all do, and very important. Yeah, as consumers, we have a lot of power.
You do. Thank you so much.
Kate, thank you very much for your time. Thanks to everyone who joined. And yeah, have a beautiful day. And I'm going to see you. We've got an event coming up, I should just mention. On the 3rd of November, we're going to be running a panel event. Kate will be sitting on about how women have engineered pandemic success. So we'll talk more about, you know, launching new products and pivots and building community, and how that's supported Kate and the team to survive and, you know, thrive. Like as time goes on, the business is becoming more and more successful. So we want to pick your brain on all the little tips and tricks.
Looking forward to it, and thank you so much for having me. I'm such a big fangirl of you and Francis, and you guys are powerhouses, like above and beyond. Yeah, already without it, you know, like you guys are titans. So it's lovely to be on a call with you and feeling like you're interviewing me. I feel like I should be interviewing you and getting your tips as far as pivots go. Goodness, but thank you so much for having me and for supporting me so much. I honestly and truly really appreciate it.
Pleasure. It's very easy to do, I must say. Awesome. Thank you, Kate.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.